Hi everyone, hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just going down to Bitcoin, but the CoinsKid crew. So the market is extremely oversold today, especially for Bitcoin. So I'll show you that in a moment. I'll create a couple of indicators that gives us a guide to that. So I think there's an opportunity here on Bitcoin. But what I'm looking at, I did post this setup in the Discord right here on the 10th of February this month. Like I said to you, it's easy for me to do this. Basically, what I was looking at is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup, 5 waves in the C wave down to the 20-week EMA. At that point, start to reverse, come back up the stairs, break out this level of resistance, and then attack that red line right there. So, you know, I'm looking for the 5 waves in C, basically, and I think we may be on the cusp of this, and this is the leg that we're in right now for Bitcoin, which is the final 5th wave of C. So I'll go through that with you. I actually think the market's been in a correction since December. This high that we're pulling in January is a false high. It's called a B wave bull trap high. I think we've experienced in XRP, and the confluences in the likes of VeChain, Cardano, so on and so forth, that have actually been in a zigzag. So I'll go through that with you in the charts in a moment, but I found a clue in an indicator that I've created for yourselves. It's called the crystal ball. I did release this yesterday to the CoinsKid crew that slowly but surely I do think that this market will turn around, especially for Bitcoin, because, you know, if I'm just respecting that indicator I've created for yourselves, it's revealing that a move to the upside, a pump is loading for Bitcoin. Now there is a lagging in that particular indicator. It's usually 8 to 10 weeks lag. So we may be on the cusp of a beautiful upside pump for Bitcoin, roughly, you know, start to the middle of March right there. So I've accumulated more Bitcoin here, and I equally have accumulated some of these altcoins as well. And one of the altcoins that I am accumulating, you know, if you've not been living under a rock, you'll know it's FARTBOY. So I do think there's upside in FARTBOY, but that's a separate video. But going forward, that is my meme coin selection. It's a community takeover coin. So providing Bitcoin holds this support and goes through this correction, I think right now we're in a final 5th wave of C, and I go through that count with you. I think Bitcoin could turn around it. So what I'm looking for is data in the charts. I'm looking at the crystal ball, which is revealing a pump over the next few weeks for Bitcoin, and equally what we want to see is to see this level of resistance here. We need to see this broken out. So this is an update that I made way back on the 10th of February. Again, if you're looking for regular updates, real-time updates, then definitely jump into Discord here. Okay, looking at Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame, I would welcome this future price action with open arms. A final flush to shake out the weekends would not surprise me. Either way, take out the descending white line, I expect to see all-time highs of Bitcoin. So I think there's some kind of bump and run pattern here, and we've traded this before in a C wave way back when. I think it was late summer 2023 we traded that bump and run. So I'll take a look at that with you today as a potential scenario that over the next few days Bitcoin may be bottoming, then start to create its reversal structure, and then begin to come back up the stairs in the final 5th wave of C, which is what I think it's going through. So I'll look at support targets and buy zones for you. Okay, let me dive into the charts right now. But if you are looking for regular updates daily on Bitcoin, XRP, FARTBOY, Cardano, VeChain, so on and so forth, get involved in the Discord. It's absolutely blowing up right now. Let me dive into the chart, show you what I'm seeing. Okay, so quickly taking a look at the crystal ball indicator on CoinsKid.com. We've got many indicators here, but this is a beautiful indicator called crystal ball. Basically, the golden line represents the future price action of Bitcoin. It's uncanny how it works, but it's based on global liquidity. Without boring you too much, it's a simple indicator that you can add to TradingView. Okay, to add it to TradingView into your charts, and I'll show you that in the Bitcoin chart in a moment. All you've got to do is come to CoinsKid.com, go to the indicator section, crystal ball, scroll down, and you can copy this code. Okay, there's a tutorial here on how to add a custom TradingView indicator right there. 6-step tutorial, really simple. Once you've done it, you've got it in your chart right there. Okay, really simple. So what it is really simple. That global liquidity, obviously, it leads price. Okay, so global liquidity is all the money floating around in the world, and obviously if there's more of it starting to come in circulation, then eventually, slowly but surely, that, you know, funnels into risk. Really simple. So it front runs, and this is what happened here. If you take a look way back in September, on September the 30th, there's a lag. Okay, so this started to come back down, and then Bitcoin was breaking out. It topped a few weeks later, roughly 8 to 10 weeks later, and then boom, it's been in its correction ever since. But, you know, this is bottomed way back here in January. So again, at 8 to 10 week lag, we should be looking at a turnaround where Bitcoin begins to bump back up the stairs, because this is what we see every single time. Once this turns around and breaks out to the upside, Bitcoin eventually bottoms and breaks out to the upside. It follows suit. Once this tops, a few weeks later, Bitcoin tops, breaks out to the upside, tops, you know, Bitcoin's following suit, playing catch up, late to the game, and then boom, it tops a few weeks later. Okay, and then the same here. This was breaking out already. This was bottoming before Bitcoin in June. Bitcoin bottomed in August, which is basically 2 months later, you know, 8 to 10 weeks. This broke out to the upside, and then, you know, Bitcoin eventually play catch up, and this is how it's working. So far so good. This is why I call it a crystal ball indicator, because it may be a clue that this particular leg here, this move to the upside, which every time we've seen it, look at this, big pump to the upside, big pump to the upside, we've not seen any kind of move for Bitcoin yet. Okay, which is why I'm anticipating that since here, this is just simply an expanded flat correction, sideways ABC zigzag. We're in the C wave right now, and the clue is in the global liquidity that's pumping right now. So if we start to see this golden line take out this pivot high, then I think Bitcoin will have a clue that Bitcoin will make all-time highs from this point, and it's not necessarily into the bear market, which is what a lot of people are calling for. You know, this is a fantastic indicator I create for the CoinsKid crew. This is why I do remain bullish on this crypto market, and because of this indicator, I'm actually accumulating some altcoins, FARTBOY, and Bitcoin, because you know we've got a pump loading down the road basically, according to this particular indicator, which has not been, you know, which has absolutely nailed it so far. So let me show you the Bitcoin chart right now. But again, if you want to get involved in this indicator, come to CoinsKid.com. It's a crystal ball indicator. Again, you can copy the code, paste it into your Pine code editor right there on TradingView, and then you've got it in your charts on TradingView. Okay, let me dive into the Bitcoin chart right now to see what we can see. So looking at Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, I think from this low here we've got a 1 into a 2 into a 3, in right now we're in a 4. We've been in a 4 since December just there. Okay, and I think that this golden line, the crystal ball, was an indication of that. Okay, so basically looking forward, what I'm looking at, my primary count at the moment is from this low here in August of last year, we've had a 1 into a pullback 2 into a breakout 3, which made all-time highs and took out this range here, and right now it's an expanded flat wave 4. So this is actually the C wave which we're in right now, and what we've got is a clue within the golden line in itself, but obviously it's quite difficult to see at the moment. So this is why in the indicator you can actually offset it, okay, to marry it with your Bitcoin price action, or you know, whatever altcoin you're looking at. So in my opinion, at this point here, we began an expanded flat correction, and this has been my primary for a very long time with yourselves. I think we've had an A into a B, and this is the C wave. So like I've always taught you, in bull markets, you know, if you can identify the C wave, it's an opportunity. Okay, so I'll try and find the lows for you and buy zones, but at the minute I'm just kicking back, relaxing, because I think we've got a clue that we will see the pump in this particular chart. So whether or not this is the beginning of a bear market, time will tell. Okay, but I don't necessarily anticipate that at the moment, because I've not seen enough data in multiple charts to, you know, warrant the fact that I think we're in a bear market at the moment for Bitcoin. One of the primary things we've not seen in this bull market, and I've taught you this, is basically Bitcoin comes up, rug pulls down, in its retracement to the high we see total 2 breakout. We've not seen that in this cycle, and that is one of the confluencing factors that I do think we've not necessarily seen the top of this cycle. What I think we've got here from this low is a 1 into a 2 into a 3 into a 4, and then the final 5th wave that comes up, you know, into May basically. And like I've always taught you, in May sell and go away. So at the moment I'm looking at this pullback being an actual opportunity, and I think the clue is in this index that I've created for yourselves, the crystal ball. So to offset this, really simple, okay, because obviously at the moment it's quite difficult to see, but there is around about a 10-week lag. Okay, so what you can do once you've got the code into your charts, really simple, drop down just there, go to the drop down, and again you can call this indicator whatever you want. It's called the CoinsKid crystal ball at the moment. Click the settings, and you've got a time offset. So looking at the weekly time frame, I'm going to offset it by 10 weeks, because you can clearly see if I do that, it moves from left to right. So you've offset it, you've got your top there, which is your top there, you've got your top there, which is your top there, and then you've got this range here for Bitcoin. You've got this range for the golden line, which is basically a crystal ball. Once it took out the range, Bitcoin began to break out. So this is what we need to see. We need to see the golden line break its range high. If it starts to do that and Bitcoin's crabbing, going sideways, and it's boring, and it doesn't look like it's going to achieve much, then you've got a clue that, okay, we'll eventually play catch up, because this is a global liquidity that eventually funnels down into risk. So this is my primary at the moment. What we've got is beautiful 1 2 3 4, looking at a 5, okay, and the clue is in the golden line, because you can clearly see here, if you take a look, we've dropped here, pumped, which is basically retracement there, then we've dropped again, which is what's happening here, okay, with Bitcoin. Then it's bottomed out just there and then start to come back up the stairs. So whether or not this is a simple retracement for a drop, time will tell, because if we do start to see something like that, you know, you could look at this, a Bitcoin which comes up the stairs, retraces, doesn't take out the high, and then drops because of the clue in the crystal ball. This is why I've called it the crystal ball, because it's a clue to the future price action for Bitcoin going forward. So, you know, I wish you the most luck in the world, but nothing I say is financial advice. But right now, this may be an expanded flat ABC correction, and boom, we start to turn around, and it's represented in the crystal ball indicator that I create for yourselves. Okay, so keep an eye on the indicator. We take out that range high, yeah, we've got a major clue that Bitcoin will follow suit eventually. So is there any confluence to the fact that I think that the corrections began just there? Well, I did create an indicator for yourselves called the retail top. I did say to you at that point, whenever we've seen that trigger point, we have always incurred a correction at that point. I remember relaying that to you. You know, we've pretty much been in a correction since then. The vast majority of altcoins have as well. But at the time when it triggered, historically, it's always an opportunity to convert your Bitcoin into altcoins, and that's exactly what we did at the time. We converted our Bitcoin into XRP. It was an amazing trade, okay, an amazing trade. So the confluence is within itself is the XRP chart, because if you take a look, right on cue, A, B, C. So I think XRP and Bitcoin have put in an expanded flat correction, and both are in the C waves right now. And equally, the confluence of that is really, really simple. It's one of the main altcoin charts I look at with yourselves. It's VeChain. So again, VeChain is putting a standard A, B, C zigzag, basically retracing to the summer lows from which it's come, basically. So that's really, really simple. So I think what we've got in the vast majority of altcoins, we've got an ABC zigzag, but in the likes of Bitcoin and XRP, which are incredibly bullish, we've got an expanded flat ABC. And right now we're in a C wave in all of the charts, and this is, you know, the C wave which is revealing itself right now. At that point, we should bottom out with the beautiful golden line, your crystal ball, and we should start to come back up the stairs because of the clue of the future price action. Like we broke out just there, and we broke out just there, and Bitcoin eventually played catch up. Okay, so this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a pump over the next few weeks. You know, whether or not it's a retracement and we drop, who knows? No one's got a crystal ball. At that point, okay, if we do begin to drop and we structurally creating bearish market structure, okay, we've got to declare a bear market for crypto. But until that day comes, I actually think there's a chance here that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup where, you know, like a relay to you, in May, sell and go away. So I think we could have a nice little pump over the next few weeks, you know, leading into April and May, where again I'll be looking to exit my positions and take profit on the crypto market. So in the current time frame, just kick back, relax. There is a potential, you know, we could look at a bump and run pattern. I'll drop that out and look at the daily time frame. We could look at a bump and run pattern here for Bitcoin on the daily, because if this is an expanded flat ABC, I actually think what we've got is the A wave down, a 3 wave move back up, which is an expanded flat B wave, and then we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup within Bitcoin within itself, where we do start to bottom in a C wave and start to come back up the stairs. And the clue is in the golden line, the crystal ball, that this is the eventual price structure for Bitcoin going down the road. But obviously, let's keep an eye on that golden line, because it is the crystal ball. It's amazing. So I think this is an ABC zigzag. Basically, what we've done from here, we've got a 1 into a 2 into a 3 into a 4 into a final 5th wave coming up into May. You know, the spring right there, where we will sell and go away, and then obviously we'll just kick back, relax, and see what happens from that point. So that's my primary expectation at the moment. We are still in this final 5th wave here for Bitcoin, where we start to come up the stairs, and we could be looking at $117,000 and $156,000, and I've gone through that with you in many videos. So I'll leave you with that. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Take care, everyone. Back soon with an update on Bitcoin. Bye bye.